Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fall River Media News. I'm your host, Dave Mead. We were supposed to have Kilgus on tonight, but plans have changed. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if Eric wants to come on. I already emailed him. So, and if not, you know what I'm saying? And if not, then we'll listen to the we'll listen to the school committee we'll listen to the school committee. That's all we can do. So for tonight. So sorry about the inconvenience. So I want to go to let me see. Let's see, Bobby Kudo. I shared that on Facebook already.
That's why you want something to do with them.
I love old computers, and not only do I love them, I like to use them. Try to see what they can do in the modern era.
All right. See, I think I shared it. I know. Let's see here. Okay.
Your old computer can become someone's maybe even a hacking. Probably very slow. Hey, is your computer slow? No problem. This is the Linux distro.
COUTO.
I'm talking about the iBooks.
Not worry.
iBooks.
Get your criticize for not being able to do it.
The iBook G3, PowerBook G4. I love the G4. That's why I like PowerPC. Apple's the reason I know what PowerPC is.
So, all right.
I have no idea what the heck it is.
It's live right now.
I think Apple makes all the PowerPC. Made all the PowerPC
Yeah.
processes anyway.
Share screen.
PowerPC. You might ask.
There it
Are you
is.
talking about the old PowerPC Macs and stuff? Yes, the Power Macs. Power Mac G3. What about the Power Mac G4? Q. Yes.
Can't.
For a long time. How do you know? I might find a computer like that.
I don't think it is.
Gift certificates. It's 4 bags of coffee in the bag. That's why I asked.
Okay.
I yield.
Chairman, just following up on that. The issue with the trust has delineated here on a spreadsheet, a whole bunch of donations. That's how we can know what it is, and it's not, oh, I got $100 in gift cards, and what happened to them, and then nobody knows what's happened. So I would just ask that we look at it. And the PTO, as my colleague was asking, totally separate issues for the PTOs. They do their own thing. I think they should all be a 501c3. And I think we should look into the district.
You know, if
It's
they
also
had
something I've been
people at the
talking
same
about
place at the same
for
time,
at least 10 years.
the game's
that
over.
we as a district should have our own 501c3. Back to the days when Nick Fisher was actually the superintendent. That we should look into it so that we don't have to do this juggling of trying to figure out who's going to accept the donation at Christmas time or wherever. So we're finagling the rules on the nonprofit. So I think that's something to put on the radar. Thank you, Ayub.
Do I have a motion and a second on accepting the donation?
You do.
I do. Deb, call the roll, please.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yeah.
I'll say David.
Mr. Modis?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Curley will now read the donations.
On behalf of Chief Information Officer Scott Cabral, acknowledgement of a donation of $20,000 from Meditech. The donation will be used to enhance technology use by purchasing tech-related products and equipment utilized in the pre-K through grade 1 classrooms. On behalf of Athletic Director Brad Buston, acknowledgement of a donation of $923.23, a donation from the Durfee Hilltopper Athletic Foundation. This donation will be used for purchasing a VASA Training Pro swim machine. On behalf of Green Elementary School Principal Liz Dunn, acknowledgement of a 7.5-foot lighted Christmas tree valued at $300, a donation from Home Depot Somerset. The donation was used for Green's Winterfest event, and the tree was raffled off to one of the families from Green for the holidays. On behalf of CTE Director Cynthia Sylvia, acknowledgement of a donation from the Laborers International Union of North America. The donation will be used to support a construction craft laborer program with the laborers' new high school curriculum. And on behalf of Cuff Middle School Principal Melissa Ruette, acknowledgement of various donations valued at $1,305 from a list of vendors that was supplied to school committees. The donations will be used for family events.
Yeah, except you.
Attendance in.
Oh, so you agree for me?
Thank you. 9.1 is the approval of grants. We have 4 grants that need approval. Does anybody want to hold on any of those grants? Bristol County. Mr. Aguirre holds the second one, Bristol County. Any of the others? Ms.
That
Riley?
Deeper Learning Implementation Network grant, please.
Deeper Learning, the first one. So the first 2 are held.
Not with those conditions.
Second. I have a motion second on the other 2. Deb, call the roll, please.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yep.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart? Yes. Mayor Coogan?
Yes. So we'll take them in order, and we'll go Ms. Riley first on Deeper Learning Implementation Grant. Mr. Raposo.
So I actually have Principal Whitty and Simpson here because this grant is specifically supporting Viveris and Laterno. So they could give a little bit of additional background, but I can share that this came through an opportunity at the Department of Education. So far, in the beginning, they came to the site visit, a walk, and these 2 principals expressed interest in being a part of this community, learning community. And so this grant opportunity came about as a result.
It's about the school department,
learning opportunity.
school
Not
committee.
everyone
It's
necessarily
alive.
in the Deeper Learning Network had the opportunity to apply or maybe was awarded the grant, but I know that these 2 schools were, so they could talk a little bit more about specifically what they're doing at those sites.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Is there any specific questions, or would you like just the background of the?
So I did read the grant. I think it's great. I'm excited that you received it. It's just that most of the money is going to stipends, but there's nothing on here about hours after school. There's a hybrid portion. Is that a course will teachers get credit? So there's just no detail around what the stipend is for. So I was just curious how we were using that to improve professional learning.
So, sorry. Yeah, I think, part of it is we know that we want to create a model in which we can get teachers to attend. So I think part of it is to get some feedback from educators at Laterno and Viveris, creating a model in which there would be some online participation. So, a proposed model would be maybe, some of the time could be after school in person, and then maybe another space that could possibly be on a weekend or another time in which people would log in. There would be a book study that would be connected to it, and then we would be applying the learning through upcoming units. So I think part of the intention of leaving it a little bit open was we just want to create a learning opportunity that we can get teachers to buy in. And I think we want to have a process of getting some feedback of what that specifically would look like to just get the most amount of educators that would participate.
So right now it's on a volunteer basis. Yes.
Yeah.
In the hopes that it grows and, okay, thank you. That's all.
Any further questions on Deeper Learning? Can I get a motion a second?
So you are consulting at all?
Second.
Deb, call the roll, please, on Deeper Learning.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yep.
Mr. Monas?
That's
Ms.
wrong.
Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
That's wrong.
Yes. Bristol County Savings, Mr. Aguirre.
Don't really have a question, just have a sort of comment. So I'm reading through the chart of what it it's going to be used for incentive program for students, attendance and the like, bikes, helmets, school swag, spirit gear, attendance, t-shirts, gift cards for personal incentives, enrichment, ice cream, pizza parties, Edia Technologies, miscellaneous. I'm all for that. I think that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The
No,
problem I
you
have
would
is
be
that
behind
this
my back.
district continues to be inconsistent. Because I was just at a meeting last month where a teacher wanted to purchase something for a student, and it was called bribery, and it created this whole big mess of a situation. And at the time, I said to myself, I think this is happening all over the district. And then lo and behold, without even knowing this is coming, now we get before us incentives here. But these aren't bribes. But the one that particular teacher did was a bribe. I have a problem with the inconsistency. I wish people would pay attention and be consistent in administration, because right now, they're not being consistent. With that, I'm going to approve this because I agree with this philosophy, but I'm also the same, if somebody does this, they're not bribing the students.
Brett's not happy about this, I take it.
Can I get a motion in a second? Oh, I'm sorry. We'll do the motion in a second, and then we'll do Mr. Dyer.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay,
You know, the son's not happy.
No, just very quickly, I second my colleagues' remarks, and just to give my guidance or my opinion on where we should go, I know, not to go into detail, but there were policies on the book
Oh,
that were used for the bribery claim that didn't even make any sense. So it just really, we need to emphasize this
so you see
year
the two of the
that
kids.
our
If
policies
I was going
that
to head
up
to that,
and
which
down the
one
board
would
need to
be honest, I think it's correct.
and I'm hopeful and confident that's going
That's
to
why.
happen very soon. I yield.
thank you. Anything further? Deb, call the roll, please, on Bristol County.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yeah.
Mr. Monas? Ms. Riley? Yes. Ms. Stewart? Yes. Mayor Coogan?
Yes. Item number 10 is the approval of contracts. We usually take these in bundles.
I'd like to hold all contracts.
You like to hold our contracts?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So let's
go ahead, go ahead, big boy, big boy pants.
Special education, transportation, 3BR.
Thank you.
He tell his brother off too.
Mr. Pacheco.
No,
can
no,
you,
no, no, no,
the first question would be, it appears for special education, we went, did we go out to bid for that? For the special?
No, we did not. These are daily rates. If you look at the two numbers, the reason why they're identical is the daily rate that we pay for transportation. So you have 3 or 4 companies who do request from time to time to work with the district. Plus companies that we go out to bid with do not have the assets available to use under their contracts. So we call other companies
We should do that,
to
Steve.
get these one-off
You don't need
transportation
chaos.
pieces filled.
Maybe I'm just having a tough time, because I know you said, we do, and my understanding is we don't go out to bid for any special education, it's exempt. However, we have, an award letter.
There wasn't a bid.
I hear
So
you.
the award is basically, they were the only company. We were requested to do award letters on some of these one-offs, whether it be transportation or other things that are over a certain.
They were the only company that placed that.
Yes.
And for special education, I have, and what,
There-
that's SP Transportation?
The SP Transportation.
Was the only company that placed,
There were other
Oh,
companies who were hired.
right.
Yes, there were other companies who were hired, but SP was the low bidder.
It does.
Trying to dollar amount, it's not a coincidence that they're the same. It's a daily rate that the district pays.
Right, we picked the lowest person.
Right. But these two companies are 2 different companies, and their rates are identical. It's the daily rate we are willing to pay for this transportation.
Yes, and we put out that quote on August, and it closed, the bid closed in August. And we started transportation, when did that contract start?
Early in the, some of these one-offs are based on right out of the gate. Something comes up and a student needs transportation, the district providers can't provide it, so always have some other vehicles that end up needed to fulfill the obligations.
So I guess what I'm a little confused. Why is the contract with the school committee today? Sorry, this
I don't know if we get any certificates on that, do you?
In the processing. It should have, the award letter should have went out earlier. When the work started, yes. If that's what you're asking.
You can't
for
trust.
both contracts.
Yes, yes.
Superintendent, what are we doing from an accountability standpoint to make sure? Because I think there's a little bit of a habit now of contracts coming before the school committee that have already started, the work's already started, and we're approving the process after. Obviously, we have policies
Give
and
a second,
procedures in
give a
place
second pass.
that call for
Here's what I want you
policies,
to do.
I mean, that call for contracts to
You
come
don't
before
need
the
it.
school committee before the work has been done. However, my,
Well, I'm a charge
how
director.
we can speak to how we're addressing
I
that issue.
will not speak to that. How I'm holding people accountable, I will not.
How are we holding the process in place? How are we making sure this doesn't happen again? Because it seems to happen a lot.
Okay.
Do you have an answer to the question?
Of how we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yes.
Yeah, I've reviewed the concern with Mr. Pacheco. And yeah, that's it. It won't
Just
happen
nothing?
again. I'm sorry?
So we're just not going to do anything about it?
What would you like me to do about it?
Well, I'd like you to make sure this isn't the first time.
Oh God.
But you understand that this came up in the fall with another contract? True.
Oh
But
my
this had
God.
already happened. So it's not as if we corrected a problem and that I said we corrected the problem and then it happened again. This is something that happened prior to that discussion. Nothing new has transpired since we had that discussion in the fall. So
Oh.
there isn't another step to take except to say, I'm glad that you caught this following what happened in the fall. That's where we are.
I'll bring this up during finance. I think we need to either have the conversation of whenever there's a contract, if we even have to review our contracts to make sure there's no more one-offs such as this, or maybe the school committee needs to be notified if there's a contract that's ongoing that hasn't been approved by the school committee. However, it's really important, and it's my job as one member of the committee to make sure policies are being followed. And it just seems to be an ongoing trend, and I'm just aware of it. I yield.
Mr. Aguirre?
Just a question, quick one. These two contracts, Mr. Chico, are they new or these were just from the beginning? Is this just cleaning up the paperwork or did we
This is
actually
cleaning
have
up
to
the
add routes?
paperwork. This is cleaning up the paperwork.
So we don't have any new routes because
We
that
don't.
would,
No.
that would be that we're 100,000.
They may not have started, they didn't start, it's two different companies, they didn't start right from the gate.
But it's
That
not
much I can tell you.
$100,000 in new expenses.
No.
Is, to my colleague to my left's
Is there or no way?
statements, I think we'd all agree that we need to have systems in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again, sign-offs and the like. I think that's what we need to start getting back to, just the systems. So I think there's no harm, no foul here. The way that the contracts are the same, it's based on the same rate. But moving forward, I think we just, across the board, have to have better systems. And I don't think anybody can disagree with that idea.
Okay, so I'm assuming the first two are 3DR and SB we just talked about. Does anybody have any further questions on either of those two contracts?
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, motion approved in a second on the first two. Further discussion? Deb, call the vote, please.
Do I hear that today?
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Monas?
Oh, but you have your hardships.
Stewart?
Yeah.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes. Next hold, Mr. Dias was Global Education Solutions.
Another way being
That was
gatekeepers.
you? I'm sorry, Mr. Aguirre, Global
I think
Education.
both of us, but
I held it, Ms.
I just have a question. Sure. So my only question is, obviously, this is to try to recruit people from overseas to come over.
Absolutely.
What
Yep.
happens if we don't get 8? Is this just we're paying them 40 grand, and if we don't get 8, it just?
They,
does it
yeah, so
prorate?
we actually reduced it slightly. Last year, it was for 10. So we have 17 right now. What we've done is they'll continue looking if we have a need. They'll sort of owe us a teacher. But I reduced it to 8 because I think that that's like a healthy amount right now. The 10 was difficult to try to fill all those with really qualified folks. So
Wow.
if anything happened, we could either amend or they would owe us a teacher, but we haven't faced that scenario right
Or
now.
with the future. The bottom line is we're not paying and then they give us no teachers and they still
No,
get 40 grand.
absolutely not. No, they've been an exceptional partner to work with and did a comprehensive, presentation. So right now we have 17. Many of the folks are staying beyond their initial 3 years. And we actually just placed our first person in math. And so initially we were getting folks in like ESL and dual language. But these are really, the difference here is these are qualified teachers. Actually teaching experience. They're educators in their native country, so they're coming here with experience. And so we just, as I said, a middle school teacher, which is great. So we're actually to math and science and some of
Wow, what the heck?
for next school year.
When you say 17 wasn't in 1 year, that was.
No, that was over the
So
course
you're
of
talking
several.
8 for
Exactly.
1 year.
Exactly.
And you're
Yes.
just not gonna.
Yes, over the course of a
Makes
few
sense.
years.
Thank you. I
Yep.
yield. Thank you.
Mr. Corey, then Mr. Dias.
So, Superintendent Raposo, so what's the term of service? About how long?
I believe it's 3 years. Initially, they come under a cultural exchange program, and then it's 3 years with the option to extend. And then, so some folks are already at the place where they've been looking to extend beyond the 3 years. But the initial term of service, I believe, is 3 years.
I was going to ask you, what's the feedback sound like to you?
It's been great so far. We've had, they actually, part of what Dr. Paez provides is he does a monthly in-person PLC, like a support meeting, because these folks obviously are facing different challenges. They're relocating their families, from another country. And so he actually offers these monthly sessions where he'll go over some of our procedures and protocols in Fall River that might be different, even tuition, just things that might be, really different for folks. And so that ongoing support's been great. I had the opportunity to attend last month and just meet some of the teachers and have conversations, and I visited many of their classrooms. And so, the feedback's obviously been positive. It's a huge shift, right? Folks are literally coming here to hopefully learn something, and the goal is oftentimes these folks are so interested in education that they want to take things back, after their 3 years of service or 4 years of service. We're going to start to explore, as I mentioned in subcommittee, Dr. Paez has connections with Brazil, and so we have a large Portuguese-speaking population, Brazilian population. So that's something we're looking at what might it look like to build a partnership with some teachers from Brazil as well. So we're going to look at some different options moving forward.
Are they in different schools or are they focused on?
They're clustered, so they are in different schools, but we do try to keep a community together. We just find particularly
Is
with
Viveris one of the local schools?
Viveris, I believe, has some teachers. Green has some teachers. Fontaine has some teachers. Morton, Durfee. So we probably have about 5 or 6 schools, and we keep folks kind of clustered together. That way, they have each other as support, because it's obviously a huge shift.
Are they open to visits?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just to see,
We're always open to visits.
just to see what it looks like,
Yes.
and to feel it, just to feel what it's all about.
Yeah.
Sounds very exciting. Thank you, Ayub.
Mr. Dias.
Thank you.
No,
I thought
you
it was a great presentation at the subcommittee level, Go By Yourself, and the representative from the company. And I'm going to support it today. The reason I placed the hold was to give my feedback to the administration, as I believe this is something, along with future purchases, that we may or may not have coming up. This should be something that should be really looked into expanding in any strategic plan that we have, and bringing in new staff, and as we potentially expand classroom space. But that's all I have, so I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion, I have a second. I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion on global? Deb, call the roll, please.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart? Yes. Mayor
You
Coogan?
tell us what's wrong.
Finally, Compass tuition for students in subsidies. Mr. Dias.
Thank you. typically,
I
they're
tell DJ,
pretty
well, that's
self-explanatory.
cool.
However,
That's terrible.
I think it's
It's
my
not-
fiduciary
it's
responsibility of this
If
committee
it's
to
three
have all
times
the
wrong,
backup,
shame
to
on
have
so-and-so,
the actual
if you like
contract
me, shit on you.
when
Oh, that's what
we're
it is.
approving a contract. When we approve
How's that,
this,
how's that for response to you?
the contract itself, 4 members are going to sign off on said contract afterwards. We should be able to
Is it
review
that-
that
you know,
language in the
this is
contract
It's
before.
not right there. Oh, that's right, bro, that's wrong.
That should be for anything.
We have I may have a difference,
So I
but
hope
then
we
you
can get
walk
into
your
the
life
habit
up
of
your.
doing that, having that placed in the backup. Obviously, it's something that we need to approve. Of course, there's state law. But I hope we can get the backup moving forward. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion is second. Any further discussion on Compass? Hearing none. Deb, would you please call the roll?
No, you can't change it.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
that's correct, as a citizen.
Yes.
Yes. We'll start the committee of the whole. 11-1 is a vote to
You
approve
did
the
nothing
election of a
wrong.
vice chairperson of the school committee.
You did nothing wrong.
Person with the majority of votes.
A lot of
is
these,
declared
a
vice
lot of these,
chairperson. If the
tell you
person
that their
receives
parents are actually loving
no
their parents.
person receives the majority of votes,
Anybody
the
can vote
voting
wrong.
board and a new election.
It's not, it sounds like that at all.
Motion to elect the vice chair via Bosie vote.
I knew you did.
Correct.
But all
To
things you should
nominate
just
a vice chair via Bosie vote.
Do I have a second?
That's what the rules are. There's no motion needed, it's just, that's what the rules are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we just call the roll, don't we? Yeah.
Take a roll call.
Call the roll, Deb.
Mr. Aguirre?
Kevin Aguirre.
Mr. Dias?
Kevin Aguirre.
Mr. Corey?
Kevin Aguirre.
Mr. Moonis? Ms. Riley?
Kevin Aguirre.
Ms. Stewart? Kevin Aguirre. Mayor Coogan?
I'll abstain on that one. Congratulations, Kevin.
Thank you
No,
very much. I just have a
you
few
can't
things
be
to say.
against you either.
Thank you for your vote of confidence in me and my colleagues. I do appreciate it. I think we're making it forward, and I look forward to having the opportunity to serve as vice chair for the next 2 years. We need to take this committee in a different, a fresh start and a new direction of the Fall River School Committee. We need to demonstrate appropriate systems, accountability, decorum, and oversight. To my colleagues, I say that it is okay to ask questions. Questions are actually encouraged as part of the government process.
You didn't.
Over the last 2 years, we've had some situations where we've created some rules and regulations on this committee that I don't think make sense, and one of which is going to be my.
And then we had two, they had from the street,
Make a
they had
motion
two
that
coming to help me.
eliminate the 10:30 curfew on the meetings because there is no time limit on the people's business.
Second.
Have a motion, and do you have anything further on your statement, Mr. Aguirre? Is that the end of your
That's
statement?
the end of my statement.
We have a motion and a second on ending the meetings at 10:30,
Eliminating.
eliminating the meeting ending at 10:30. Any discussion?
I just say that I also, I'm not against changing the time that we do it. I just would say that I don't know that we're always in the best frame of mind if we start at 5:30 and we get to 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, that we're in the right frame of mind to listen, perhaps more than adding another meeting, so that we have 2 meetings that are maybe shorter versus one really long meeting. Just to throw that out there, as someone who knows after spending a day, all of the folks here have worked all day and then staying here into the night, sometimes we won't get the best conversation. Sometimes we want good discussion and good conversation. Perhaps the thought is
I think
twice that much.
I support Ms. Riley on that one. If you work an 8-hour day and you go for a 5-hour meeting, it's 15 hours.
Yeah.
If we couldn't get through everything, we had to schedule another meeting. I'm not against that. But I think a 10:30 cutoff is a 5-hour meeting, and we should be able to handle the people's work in 5 hours. And if we can't, we'll move it along again. But we do try to cover everything. I just know that a 13-hour workday for most of us up here that work an 8-hour day is a long day. Mr. Zayas.
Thank you. I understand. I support my colleague, Ms. Riley's sentiments and comments. The reason I seconded the motion is because it should be up to the committee to decide what time the meeting ends. This 10:30 deadline was rushed, and I don't believe we'll have this issue with this committee, but we've ran into the issue before of just rushing things through and ending meetings on an issue that could be a climax or an issue that was very important. Obviously, the decision to end a meeting is up to the entire committee, and the committee should decide at any time it wants when to start and end a meeting. It shouldn't be up to one individual. So, of course, we should have efficient meetings. We should move with the decorum, and I'm sure we'll move in the right direction. However, that's why I seconded the motion. Thank you, I yield.
Mr. Clay?
And so I'm just gonna, digress from my colleague's opinion. I do want to congratulate Mr. Aguirre on the vice chairmanship. I think it's well deserved. However, I just thought that the temperament of our meetings over the past 2 years just felt like a run-on sentence in so many of our deliberations, when if we could tame ourselves and put ourselves into a more efficient frame of mind so that we can just work through the agenda as it needs to be worked through legitimately, then I think we can get our work done in a more timely fashion. So that's what I have to say, and I'll yield.
Who's next? Mr. Aguirre?
So I do understand the sentiment. I can just speak from experience over the past several years. So one of the things when I say I would like to work and help to take this committee in a different direction is that we need to have better systems in place, and we need to look at our agendas in a different way. We need to look at our backup information in a different way, and we need to increase the level of communication between the administration and the schools and the school committee. That includes.
I agree with
those things.
I agree with Aguirre on that one.
In the meeting. But if we've asked questions of the administration, any member, it's their right and their duty to ask questions of the administration. If the administration refuses to give answers to the questions and would rather come to a meeting on Monday and roll the dice and see what happens, that's where we got into this problem. So I'm fully aware that when we get to the setting the agendas and doing it properly, doing the proper backup and having communication, we won't end at 10:30. What we do currently have is at 10:30, everybody's wondering. So we'll go in the back and we'll have 6 items in executive session, or 16 items in executive session, and we have 9 minutes left on the clock. So all the workers, the teachers, the unions, and everybody needs us to negotiate, and we look at our clock and say, we got 9 minutes to do 17 items. That is not, it's not a good situation. That's not a good system. So I encourage us to get rid of this time. If the meetings are going on too long, as a committee, we can choose to pause the meeting. We can choose to make another meeting. But ultimately, I don't think that we need to have an arbitrary 10:30 deadline so that everyone's sitting there saying, oh, we only got 3 minutes, so I can't ask that pertinent question. Or just let it go because we got a 10:30 curfew. That's not what the people want, and that's not what I want.
No, I think you make sense on that, Mr. Aguirre. Certainly, if there are very important items that need our discussion and our weighing, certainly, perhaps we could work to amend those meetings as they stand and to get that important business conducted. However, I just think that as a model, we should think about really being efficient and maybe setting 10:30 as an arbitrary end time. And if we need to go over, like sometimes we do in citizens input, we can call for it on that specific date. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, sir.
Okay.
My opinion would be to get rid of it and do the opposite. When we need to end it, we can end it. It's just going on and on. But trust me, I would say, I said it last night at an event, we need to expect more. I think everyone out there in the public and here should expect more out of us, expect more out of me, expect more out of the committee. We need to run these meetings efficiently,
Yep.
get to the people's business, including executive session. And when it's over, it's over. If we need to have multiple meetings, so be it. We got elected to do the job, and it shouldn't matter on the time, is my point. So I say, and if we have to go backwards and say, okay, we're going to cancel the rest of the meeting, go into executive session, so be it. But I gotta stress, agenda setting is an important piece. One of the important pieces of the vice chair is to work with the mayor and the superintendent on the agenda setting. And I intend to take that very seriously, so that we're no longer gonna have agenda items that we don't have all the backup, we haven't been given all of the information. So when it comes out, we can actually do something very smooth. I ask you to trust us. Thank you.
Well, since you're gonna do that,
No.
we shouldn't,
The both people have
we won't even need a
estimated
deadline
that
of,
portion
10:30, we'll be out of here at
Otherwise, we have
9:30.
to-
I like us.
9:30.
Say, I expect more out of all of us.
Right, but I believe if you were being 100% honest, at 10:30, 11 o'clock, after most of us start work at 8 o'clock on those days, it is one long grind. And doing the people's work is important, but doing the people's work correctly is also important. And I think sometimes if that was the case, and now that you're gonna be at the agenda setting, and you see an agenda that's bombed out, schedule a meeting. I mean, we've done that before. We've
I
done
agree
it before.
wholeheartedly, Mayor. Like, we had one meeting last, I think it was in December or in, whatever. We had 17 items on the executive session. 17. So if we just look at the agenda setting, we had 13 items on the regular and 17 on the thing. Who are we kidding? So at that point, instead of doing it, we would say, no executive session on this meeting. We're gonna schedule an executive session only item 2 weeks from now. So I wanna work with you, I wanna work with the committee, and I think we can do it efficiently.
I'm just gonna stay with 10:30 for now, because I'm the oldest one up here, and I wanna try to stay alert, so give it a roll call. Deb. Oh, I'm sorry, let's do it.
I don't mind 10:30, 10:30, but if we're gonna switch to 10:30, I just think that if we get to, say, 11 o'clock and we know we have like 2 hours worth of a meeting, at that point, say, how about we come back in a week, 2 weeks to finish this off? We can't just say we're done and then redo it in a month from now. I just don't think that that's fair for the rest of the stuff that's on the agenda.
Okay. Deb, call the roll, please, on changing to no 10:30 end time.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Ford?
No.
Mr. Myers? Yes. Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
No. Next item up on the agenda,
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Dias.
I'd like to make a motion that we move subcommittee reports up to now on the agenda. I'm sorry, subcommittee
Assignments.
assignments,
Second.
Why, how far down is it?
Information.
one of the last items.
It's right before,
It's in
Second
the
to last
information
item.
section after the,
Okay. Yeah. This is just strictly informational. I put people where I thought they could most help the city. I did combine grievances and recognition, because Kevin has done recognition and he was on grievances, and that's not a very as busy of a committee as some of the others, so we put those two as the exact same, and the rest, we moved some people around, and we put people where they think where I thought they could be a strength to the Fall River School Committee.
Can we read for the record?
I'm sorry,
Can we
Kevin.
have somebody read them in for the record for the public?
Deb, he wants you just to read them in.
Subcommittee assignments, Evaluation Subcommittee. Anna C. Riley is the chair. Tom Corey, Kevin Aguirre. Facilities and Operations, Kevin Aguirre, chair. Colin Dias, Emmanuel Monas. Finance Committee of the Whole. Grievance Subcommittee, Kevin Aguirre, chair. Emmanuel Monas. Anna C. Riley. Parent and Community Outreach, Tom Corey, chair. Emmanuel Monas. Chanel Joy Stewart. Instructional, Anna C. Riley, chair. Tom Corey, Chanel Joy Stewart. Special Education, Alternative Education, and Early Childhood, Chanel Joy Stewart, chair. Colin Dias, Tom Corey. Policy, Colin Dias, chair. Anna C. Riley, Chanel Joy Stewart. Technology, Emmanuel Monas, chair. Kevin Aguirre, Colin Dias. Recognition, Kevin Aguirre, Chair, Emmanuel Monis, Anna C. Riley.
Thank you. 11.2 is an update on the revised CTE policy for years 26, 27, as presented by Dr. Tracy Curley, superintendent of
Chairman?
schools. Mr. Aguirre.
Can I just ask a clarifying? I think we went over this last time and this was tabled at the end, but does this just reflect the changing the words that we talked about last time, or is there new stuff, new changes?
No, so it is, so I just wanted to give an update coming out of that last, because I know there was a lot of discussion
Yeah,
there.
I just was looking, that's a quick
Yeah,
summary.
so I think in the backup, there are two versions of the policy. One of them is the originally recommended policy, and then there's the policy that was approved. So because we had to submit a policy by the end of December, I did submit the policy that was approved. That was a policy that had a lottery system that included two lotteries. One, it was to represent the student population at Durfee, so that the percentage of seats in the CTE lottery that were designated for students with disabilities would match that of the demographics of Durfee High School. So I did submit that policy. There was an attestation that I had to sign off on saying that, to my knowledge, it was lawful. I didn't sign the attestation because that was still in question. Since then, I did receive some information. I met with folks from the state because I hadn't signed, and they said, why haven't you signed? And they recommended that we get some legal advice on it. I did receive that from the office of McAvoy, Joyce, and Kowalski. And basically, it says it's our legal opinion that the policy's use of a separate lottery pool for students with disabilities would be non-compliance with both state and federal law. And it goes on. But that's the gist of it. And so we would be making just the recommendation that the committee revisit the original recommended policy that
I looked at it the other day, I stopped at the stop sign, if there would be anything there to the top level,
an
you can
unrated
see
lot.
far enough to be seen.
Mr. Dias.
I guess my original question is more like a procedural one. If we were looking for an update to the policy.
Yeah, you're not gonna be safe if somebody comes around that corner at 40.
Usually when we have update on the agenda, it's just to give us some sort of notification, but it's on
Well,
here.
it is. I just wanted to offer an update that I had gotten the legal opinion.
You're seeking to change the policy
However,
back to
that's nothing we can do about that.
the original that was recommended by the CTE director.
So that would be my recommendation if the committee is going to take action. Yeah. Based on the legal advice that we presented, that
I did notice the way the plows were
we
plowing right
submitted
there.
a policy that was
There's
unlawful.
snowbank there, so you can't.
So I'm going to move that we approve the one that meets the legal recommendation. Second.
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on adopting the legal policy. Anything further, Mr. Corey?
I'm not going to vote to obstruct the motion of this policy, the motion of this agenda item, but I just have trouble with the term lottery in regards to any of the programs we have.
Wow.
When I look at CTE, which I'm really proud
Not surprised with Tom Corey. Not surprised at all.
Going on at Durfee. I know that there are kids in the middle school level that if you portfolio them, they're going to show certain strengths and skills that want to point them in the direction of a CTE program. And some of these very children, some of these very students.
CTE program.
Not
Wow.
available because of an unweighted lottery. I just have an issue with the lottery. It's not with our school department. It's mostly with DESE. I have the issue with the state mandate. I just don't understand it. It's diversity, equity, inclusion, but it's stepping on some toes for some kids with real skills. And that's my concern. With that, I yield.
Mr. Dias?
Thank you. I fully agree with my colleague to my left, and I second the motion because obviously we need to follow state law and state and federal law. With
Yep.
that being
It's
said,
state, federal, and law.
I'd be interested
Yep.
to see that legal opinion from Michael Joyce, if it was Michael Joyce, and the dollar amount attached to it, just so we get an understanding of it. And if there's something we could possibly look at into the future, or for this committee has the ability under policy to advocate for changes to state law to advocate for that. So whoever is in that position, we could use that to potentially advocate for changes that my colleagues were referring to. I yield.
I agree with Collins.
Following the legal policy, Deb, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes. 11.3 is a discussion and vote to approve the Durfee High School Program of Studies for 26-27 as referred by the Instructional Subcommittee and presented by Dr. Jessica Stevens, Durfee Principal. Any discussion on the Program of Studies for Durfee?
So moved.
A second with a question.
I have a second with a question, Mr. Dias.
Just for the public's edification, can we just get a brief presentation?
Good evening, everyone. So thank you for the opportunity to share our proposed 26-27 program of studies. Naturally, in kind of organizing, exploring, I just had said at the subcommittee meeting, kudos to all of the content academic instruction leads at Durfee, because a lot of thought and heart goes into really vetting the program of studies to make it one that is relevant and meaningful for all of our kids. So with that in mind, just the idea of working hard to make school meaningful for all kids and really recognizing that the diversity that we have at Durfee is such a gift, that our stories, our students' stories and trajectories are super important, and us honoring that and how we review the ways that we go about teaching them is really critical. There was a lot of thought and heart put into kind of vetting our current program of studies, and we came up with 3 organizing principles. You have an executive summary and you have the full program of studies. You'll see that the 3 organizing principles noted on the executive summary are: number 1, strengthening real-world readiness, financial literacy, civic learning, and skills for a changing world. The second is more choices, more mastery, expanding transformative learning experiences and adding more multi-credit course options. And then the third is building clear, coherent science course sequences for all students. So with that said, in between the executive summary and the full program of studies, I would certainly open up to any questions that anybody has.
Mr. Agia. Mr. Agia.
Thank you. A couple of questions, not necessarily related. The summary's intense. There's a lot of stuff there, so I don't want to get into all the different details. That's what you are the principal for. The question I had, and I've asked this question to the superintendent in the past, was around study halls and time that students are taking off. I've received some complaints from people at Dunkin' Donuts or wherever that say, why are these students not in school when they need to be in school? Students say, oh, I got to study this period. I've heard from some parents that say my kid's calling because there's nothing to do, or, whatever. So I tried to clarify with some of that with the superintendent. She indicated that it was something about attaching to a class. I said, is that part of it? Is that in the program of studies? The answer was no. I said, is that problematic? And then that's where we're at now for a few months. So first time I had a chance to talk to you about it, like, what is the rationale for it? I thought we got rid of study halls, so there must be more to the story. And along with that, I'm curious as to how many hours of the 990 do you meet based on instruction? You might not have that answer now, but you can get it to us.
I think among the squad, we do have the answer, but
Okay, no problem.
just relative to the study hall question, the numbers of students who are in any course that is referred to as a study hall is extremely, extremely low. So I did inquire, try to get specifics about who was calling, saying that sometimes it's hard to tell the projected version of what's going on and the actual version of what's going on. I would never say that any student is being blatantly dishonest, but sometimes it doesn't match, you know what I mean? And there is such a low number of students that would have study hall on their schedule that I was curious about specifics, or who's saying that essentially. I know that Drew.
So just by what you just said, apparently there's an ability to figure out how many students have study hall.
Yeah.
So one of the things, if I would ask that question, would be, we have 18 students out of 2,400 that have a study hall, and there are 4, whatever. Some answer that I got was about it's attached to another class or something, and I'm not trying to spot you on it, it's just the fact of the matter is that if it is a study hall attached to a class or something, it should show up in here somewhere. And it might already, and I honestly haven't gone through it to look for exactly which one, but ultimately, my concern was just that I find that there's too many situations where people are saying that they don't have an assigned class at Durfee, and even if it's a small number, it should only be for a real reason, not just because we can't fit it in the schedule or some other reason. And I don't know that, I don't have enough backup to say, yes, it's only 20 students and they're all attached to an AP class or whatever it is. I don't know, so.
Sure, I don't disagree, and the change, I believe, is noted in the current one, right? So it is a very low number, but your point's very well taken, and it is noted in the projected program of studies for 26, 27 study.
So if it's attached, why I asked the question is those kids would have to still get, if they're in a study hall, it's not counted. So if you're at 990 even, now, and they get a study hall once a day for 180 days, they're not meeting the 990. So that would be the reason why I asked that other question, just to follow up on that. But if you can just get us some kind of information related to it. I don't think that the question, the phys ed issue is, I think, a separate one, or is that part of this separate issue? Because I have some questions on that. But with that, I yield. Thank you.
Mr. Corey, then Mr. Dias.
So, Dr. Stevens, I used to live within the tenets of this program of studies myself as an old social studies teacher at Durfee High School. And I'm looking at the social studies curriculum right now. I'm happy to see some new add-on courses. And I know that the program of studies at large represents the growth and development of our American society, in that it's an evolving document. Each and every time that you guys have to review this and rewrite it and rethink it, you're adding new courses. I'm putting a personal plug in for a very, very strong civics education, because I felt as an educator that when MCAS and the No Child Left Behind was instituted in the 90s, then I saw social studies become a victim to the standards of the MCAS test. Where we
the MCAS.
doubled up in science and we doubled up in ELA, but we knocked out the business department at Durfee High School, which I thought was an extremely viable department, and it taught real life mathematics to kids. I just hope that at some point the Department of Education might help us to revisit these ideas and go back and reinstitute business level courses and business level math, as well as really hammering the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in early social studies classes, just so that we can get our young students tuned in to what it's like to live in our country and to have a deep rights in our country, and to be able to form their own budget while they're living in our country. And with that, I yield, but I certainly want to congratulate you and your extensive team at providing us with an awesome document. Thank you. I yield.
Legal
Thank you. Just to piggyback on my colleague's question, I know the PE is separate issue coming up on the agenda. Is that listed anywhere with the? I just see it, but I could have missed it. Is that listed anywhere within the program of studies, like the curriculum on gym, like how many classes?
It's definitely in there.
So the PE graduation requirements are on page 13, along with all the other departments in terms of the minimum course graduation requirements.
Okay, thank you. Two questions, mainly SEO related. Is there any issues right now at any grade level with monitoring the halls that recently came up with students? Like, leaving class early. I think that what I've heard, the message had to go out that students, if they leave the halls, they're going to be told the week they can't leave, like use the pass system.
I don't know what you're referring to, honestly. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Okay. I'll follow back up on that. And last question was on, do we currently have vape detectors in the bathrooms?
Vape detectors?
Yes.
No.
We don't have that. I think that's something we should, I think the help therapy is something we should definitely look into.
This is the program studies.
It was an SEL related question, social emotional. I figured it was. You just allowed other questions. But other than that, I know we had a good discussion at the subcommittee level. So yeah, keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Aguirre.
The Directed Academic Center, is that what you guys are referring to? So
Yeah, Academic
on
Center.
The current, because I guess this is next year. So like the current year, there's no Directed Academic Center. What are they listed as, the current students that are on free periods or whatever?
In the current program of studies, it's added because of that feedback, so.
Okay, so just to clarify what I'm looking for when you get, so this is for next year. What I'm just looking for on current is what does it look like? So it might not be called, like you wouldn't go into 9004 and just pull it up. You must have some other way to figure out who's getting these.
Oh, what is it called in Aspen, like in the computer system?
Right, because I'm just trying to figure out how did we get to the point where in the current year, students are on, let's call it Directed Academic Center, study hall, whatever you want to call it. How did we get that was allowed in the current year when it's not in the program of studies and we knew nothing about it? That's, I guess, the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I'm validating your point, and I'm just noting that that's why it's in the projected program of studies for 26.
No, I get it. So you're aware that we just gotta
I am.
figure out some other stuff. To go to the phys ed piece of the curriculum, into the program of studies, there's nothing in here that says the phys ed as different classes. And I want to say we have the director as the director of all schools, not, you don't have a department head of phys ed at Durfee.
Right.
So I think my concern is just, everything else is thorough and articulated and detailed and what the students are expected to do, learn, and whatever in each one. I find that just, and this is just my own opinion, I have not seen it, just what the kids say, what parents say, is the kids, it's not as structured in phys ed, physical education, as we would like in some places. Some people want to free for all, yeah, go pick that, go pick this. I think that cheapens the phys ed department. I think we should have phys ed classes where you get assigned so that you can actually know and grow with the teacher rather than just have it be saying free for all, not that it's out of control, but like you get picked or whatever it is.
I just want to let you know that Fall
Just
River
curious
Media
why
News
there's
is
nothing
live
Is it just
with the school
you're in
committee.
physical education, it's just one class, one
And
summary?
the
or
school
there's no
committee is
summary?
live
Well,
too.
I think, oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I think if you want to honor Dan's.
So my first year when I came into the role, speaking with the guidance counselors, they were saying that kids would get put into, walking for fitness, but they wanted competitive basketball, or they were put in competitive basketball and they didn't want it. So it really put like a negative connotation toward it. So one of the things I proposed my first year is I said, well, let's call it physical education. And we moved to a model where students come in, they take a survey their first day or two as we go over like rules, regulations, and those things. And then we offer several choices for students to self-select their pathway through physical education.
Why don't we talk about that as the next item, Mr. Aguirre? Is that, the waiver, which is going to relate to some of the things Danny's saying right now.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I'm just asking because if you, what you're just telling me, sir, is that there's in this program of studies, there's a one that says physical education, a generic summary, one.
Yes.
Not like phys ed 9, 10, 11, 12, like just one.
Correct. We moved that so there'd be more flexibility. So if you went 9, 10, 11, 12, then if you had a junior and there was a spot open in phys ed 9, really, they shouldn't be able to take that. So we just kind of had it as like a broad stroke.
Well, I think that I would question that, but we'll. Do we really want 12th graders and 9th graders in the same phys ed class?
They can.
You know, I mean, they
Yeah.
can, but is that something that we want to encourage? I'm not sure, but we'll talk about it more with phys ed. I yield, thank you.
All right, can we get I'm sorry,
Question, I'm sorry.
Ms. Riley?
Just want, I love that you're adding the brand new AP Business and Personal Finance. Are you thinking about the cybersecurity one for next year? Because that's the other new one.
I'm intrigued, so.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, quick follow-up.
Oh, taxpayers' money.
Okay. Just two quick follow-up questions. First is more, and I know Durfee is doing a lot specifically the first one I'm about to mention, but a lot of questions I get from parents is around these two. What are we doing right now to prepare students in financial literacy, life skills? I know there is a lot we are doing, but if you could just quickly speak to that.
Yeah, sure. I would say currently it's embedded in senior history, like we alluded to in the subcommittee meeting, but that is a primary focus for next year, is this offering in a more expansive way so that it's something that all students get the opportunity to access if they choose to. So I think that of all of the kind of focal points, that's the one that is the broadest stroke at this point and is probably the most relevant to the world at large and, what we want our kids to be able to do and know when they're done here.
Okay. And last question, we have classes either in health around the topic of drug prevention.
Yeah.
If you want to quickly speak, just for the parents at home.
You want to come back?
In Health 1 and Health 2, we do substance abuse, use, and prevention.
That freshman, sophomore?
Freshman, sophomore, Health 1, typically sophomore, junior, some sophomore, if they passed Health 1, can take Health 2, depending if there was like a program, that might have bumped it out later on, but typically it's junior, senior, as well as management issues in health.
Thank you. Last question is the accelerated program for multilingual. Who oversees that?
Accelerated program for multilingual, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Other than, can you show me where you're referencing?
Page, I didn't have it up. It's in the accelerated programs, like where like Evolve is and all them.
Yeah, I believe it's page 11 under the credit recovery option. So the accelerated MLL pathway is for students who are entering Durfee from other countries, but cannot provide written transcript records from their home country for a variety of reasons. And because they're older, typically 18, 19, 20 years old, we have ways to accelerate through mastery. Sometimes it's students taking two courses, like History 2 and History 3 at the same time, or accelerating through summer. Sometimes students are able, through teacher and department head, able to earn credit faster. So that's just kind of a general description. It's a very small group of students who are older, who have been engaged in school, cannot provide records, or maybe they've had some interrupted education.
Thank you, Mr. Woodward. The MLO director's not here today?
No, she's not here.
Okay. Thank you. I yield.
One follow-up.
Mr. Aguirre?
That just, as you were speaking about the accelerated for the MLL, I think you've done a better job with the options for credit recovery and alternative type schooling. I get it. I would just like to wonder why that just says MLL. I think there's kids that have situations and, exactly what you just said, except for the multilingual learner piece, that need that same option. They finally got it. I'm 20 years old and I have to, why would we only call that for MLL based on the counselor, whatever, get a hook into the kid? Why would we limit it to only MLLs? I think we should consider all students, because what if one needed it and they went in MLL? Technically speaking, by you putting MLL here, you can't run an alternative type of schedule for that student. I yield. Thank you.
Okay, can I give a motion and a
We have
second?
a motion and a second.
Have a motion, second?
Motion so made to approve.
Okay. Anything further on Durfee? Deb, call the roll, please. 11.3.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes. 11.4 is discussion and vote to
Good job, guys.
Is a discussion and vote to approve the updated phys ed waiver as referred by the instructional subcommittee and presented by Dan Fitzgerald, Director of Health and Phys Ed.
Mr. Chairman?
So moved.
Yeah, I have a motion.
Second.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Fitzgerald.
So we'd like to update the current waiver from where it is now to where we would like to see it. This came about last year, speaking with my direct supervisor, Assistant Superintendent Raposo. We talked with it through the team, myself, Director Woodward, Director Buston, amongst others. And we talked about there have been some students who've gone through Durfee High School without ever actually taking a PE class since this waiver's gone into effect in the fall of 2020 is the email that was forwarded. So we retooled it. We still are going to offer it. If you are an athlete and you play an MIAA sport, you could be eligible for one waiver between your sophomore, junior, senior year. You would identify that with your guidance counselor. Prior to the season, you would sign that, have that conversation with a parent guardian, okay, so that everybody would be aware that you need to fulfill your obligation. Otherwise, you'd be re-enrolled in a PE class. If you were a 3-sport athlete, you could go up for discussion for a second waiver if there was such a conflict in your schedule that allowed that. Looking to move forward with students. Currently, we had this year, and myself and Barbara Meyer, who is a guidance counselor director, they identified with the counselors 69 fall applications. We're still receiving them. So far, we've received 14 back within the last month. We still have more out as we continue to get all the signatures that come from student, parent, guardian, guidance counselor, myself, the athletic director, as well as the person's coach. We also look to remove some offerings on here that did not align with physical education.
Mr. Dias?
Thank you. I do support as I did at the subcommittee, I do support the updated language, and I think it's a step in the right direction. I'll still vote to approve it today. I just want to make note, I did request some backup from the superintendent on December 19th at 12:11 related to PE waivers. I don't think I ever received them. If those could be sent to the committee still.
So the information that Mr. Fitzgerald just shared is the information that he shared with me. Just in the other piece of it is that there weren't records kept prior to. So he only knows about the waivers that were requested this fall and those that are in process. And those are the numbers that he provided.
Thank you. I yield.
Mr. Corey, then Mr. Aguirre.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Fitzgerald. So this item, if I recollect, when we were running for office, we had the student forum right here at Durfee. One of the student athletes was on the board that questioned us. And she was kind of hoping that this would be a potential item that we may consider to pass moving forward. So could you just give me an idea of what it's like for a kid to compete at this Division I sports level and still have to maintain their credits? Is it hard for them to do with all of their other academic challenges?
I don't think so. I mean, I was a 2-sport athlete at Durfee. I went on, I played in college. While in college, I also coached wrestling at a high school. Prior to 2025, it's my understanding that, prior to 2020, it's my understanding in speaking with, past alumni that also were athletes that everybody maintained a physical education class. Great book, Spark by Dr. John Rady, a associate Harvard professor, talks about after age 24, 3% of the population stay physically active through a team sport. So like we always talk about like the game ends someday, like we tell our kids that, our athletes that. I mean, my father was telling me that since I was a kid. So by having other options in PE, it takes the pressure off. You don't have to perform in front of the crowd, and you can explore different options that you could stay physically active throughout your life. You know, decreasing a sedentary lifestyle, preventing chronic diseases, better quality of life. I mean, if you think about it, at 46 years old now, I no longer play football. I played football from 5th grade all the way through college. I started wrestling in 6th grade all the way through college. I don't do either one of those sports anymore. They're too violent on my body. So we look at different ways that, you know, we can get kids involved, and we have some great choices. We have a fitness concepts class where we teach kids about nutrition, macros, micros, what you should be fueling your body with. 3 days a week, they're lifting weights. We have another course, Ref Reps. We're one of the first schools in Massachusetts to do that, where the students can take, right now we offer basketball, soccer, volleyball. You can become an associate official of the MIAA. It's a very active class too. We got
Is it like an internship?
No, you actually become an official where you could do junior varsity games and below. Brendan Kelly runs the class. He does a fantastic job. 3 or if not 4 days a week, they're on the court. A lot of times, like we'll bump into a PE class, or we'll, you know, recruit a couple kids to run a game of basketball. They're up and down, showing referee position.
So are you saying activity like that would provide a waiver for that student?
So we're saying that this is another way that they can, you know, stay connected to a game, okay, but that's not taking a physical toll on their body, so they can referee throughout, you know, the rest of their lives.
There you go.
As long as they want to. We got lifeguarding, we got aquatics classes, lifeguarding, aquatic and team sports, swimming for fitness. A lot of schools don't have the luxury of having the gorgeous pool that we have there. We offer yoga, stress management, and we have a dance class.
Thank you, I yield. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Mr. Aguirre.
So based on this, I see the current would be only one be waived for their career. And then they have, so that would mean they'd have to take 3. Can they take those 3, like jam them in, or do you have to, like, so be one freshman, sophomore, junior, or one per year, or can you multi?
The law says you should be scheduled every year for physical education. We've had situations where it's been bundled, right? Where for whatever reason, the student didn't take freshman, sophomore, junior, or they take it their junior year, and they're scheduled for multiple physical education classes within that year. I've worked with the director of guidance, or the department head of guidance last year about addressing that issue and calling that out, because as a team, we look at that, like during our PLCs, saying who's getting an excessive amount of PE, or my teachers will say, you know, I have Dan Fitzgerald in my class, periods 2, 3, and 4. So it looks like they're getting their PE requirement that way. So hopefully.
And there's no maximum? There's no maximum amount of credits you can earn in PE?
It should be equitable that all students have it once a year. And another reason we want to look at that waiver is for reasons of such, right? As well as working with the guidance department to ensure that students are scheduled once a year for PE.
Yeah, I think the law is confusing, because in preparation for this, I looked it up myself, where it says it will be offered every year. It kind of implies that you're supposed to take it, but it doesn't. It's just a lousy worded law, the way I see it. Then we looked at, if it says we should offer it every year, but then we cut it down to 3 instead of 4. So if you're in school for 4 years and we only have 3, and then you give a waiver for 1, now they only have 2. So I just think it's a.
The law, I believe, says it's a required course, K to 12. regardless of the graduation requirement, 3, 4, they should be scheduled for physical education every year.
Right, but if that's the case, we would be doing it, and we're clearly not. That's the problem. So I personally think it should be every year, my own personal opinion. I think it cheapens the phys ed teacher who works hard and does a good job of teaching all those variety of things that you just said. I think those are excellent, but it cheapens it when we just say, you can go sign up for this, you can take 2 or 3 of these, or it just makes it a different situation. So I think we have to, I guess we just have to look at it, but I don't think anybody should be taking 3 in 1 year. I think that's a guidance issue of how did we get to this point? But when you say only 1 and the waivers are coming in now, I was confused because you were talking about waivers coming in now, but the early page that we had was, I guess it was the old one.
Yes.
So,
We're still currently operating under the old waiver.
right, that's what I'm going through now. So
Yeah, so
my
I-
question is not necessarily for you, sir, it would be for guidance. So if this is the waiver that you need, and we've had how many students got waived? Where are the vouchers? Where are the waivers for these students for the current year? And if this was in place in the last year, I think I saw something like since 2020 or something. Where are the waivers for the last 5 years? And I believe what Mr. Dias was talking about asking for after the meeting was exactly that. Where are the waivers from guidance that says 87 students got waivers? And who checked it? Did kids get multiple waivers? Like, that to me is more of the issue for us currently, to figure out why are we getting waivers in now? I mean, is that for just this term? Is that-
That's for the
like
fall
sort of-
season. So at the conclusion of the fall season, these waivers that I'm talking about are only for this school year.
Mhm.
Prior to this, I haven't been given any of these waivers.
Do they exist?
Yes, 2020 is when this came in.
No, waivers actually exist. The physical paper waiver that I see here.
I don't have any copies.
So, Madam Superintendent, that's the question I would have. Since this has been in existence, how many waivers have been done and where are the forms? Because I think what's happening is we're trying to tighten it up now, but we're currently operating under the old one that doesn't exist. So like, for instance, in September, a student comes in September, they can't get a waiver for the prior year, so now we've got to wait for the term. But that same process would have been, like last year, would have been multiple times. At least twice, right, when you're picking your classes, or is it quarters, is it thirds, when do they pick phys ed?
Terms. They do terms,
So out of 4.
correct. They do 1 out of 4.
So a student now, based on the conversation we just had, would only have to take 1 term for 2 years of,
They should be scheduled for 4 terms.
it's
in
not
4
happening,
years.
but it's not happening. That's not happening.
No.
You know that's.
Why
not
should they be scheduled for
Principal
4
knows-
terms?
Superintendent knows it's not happening.
No.
We can say all we want, we think they should, or they would have. It's not happening. And it hasn't happened for years. So that's why I was saying.
Well, I was gonna schedule
Ultimately,
people for 4 terms?
It
Come
shouldn't just
on.
be hodgepodge, or, the schedule.
It
doesn't
shouldn't
fit.
even be scheduled for
Or
4
whatever- for whatever
terms. Did I
reason.
just heard that? Oh, my
Waivers should
God,
just be
4
given.
terms? No.
And are there any waivers for anybody other than sports?
Under the old, the current one, it's marching band, early education, dance team, and color guard, as well as ROTC.
So you're recommending as the director that we don't do that, but we're still operating under the current, because this is for next year.
Correct.
So kids could currently still be taking early childhood and getting their phys ed waived.
Correct.
Are the schedules done for the term?
For this upcoming term,
Yeah.
I would assume so, yeah.
And is there another term?
There's a 4th term as well.
So I'd like to make a motion that we take this recommendation and start it in 4th quarter.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Anything further? I do want to add something to this debate, though. I have a motion, a second on starting, Dr. Curley.
Yeah, I would want to invite someone from Durfee High School to speak to the impact on like student schedules. I mean, if students have a legitimately full schedule with year-long and semester courses, what does that look like if 4th quarter, a semester course potentially has to be dropped so that the PE could be picked up?
We also have two other options with PE. They can either roll in the summertime or the Durfee After Dark program, which meets twice a week for 2 hours.
So you want to give them PE credit for that?
We run a PE class
Oh, PE
twice a
class.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
One
you
of our
meant
PE
just go
teachers,
take the
Mr.
class.
Reese, twice a week on Wednesday, Thursday, runs a course from 3 to 4:45. So the students can get out to get the bus on time and things like that. And the students sign a contract, which I have.
How about getting them their own school buses?
Spreadsheet, so that way, like, we can track. If you miss one time, you get one unexcused absence. After that, students make classes up. We also give students the option to make up classes every Friday. I stay after school, typically in the fitness center now that the winter sports are in session and they're packed, and they can make up a class or two if they miss it. So if they want to make up one class, they stay with me till 4. They want to make up 2, we stay till 4:45.
Mr. Chair?
I thought he was gonna answer the superintendent's
Oh,
question.
Yeah, I would just add that schedules are done for the most part. There are students in a variety of different situations for this current school year. Some students may have 6 full year courses, perhaps in their schedule. Others have a combination of semester classes and term classes where they would have a lot more flexibility for it to be added during term 4. But I would just request that for students who already are participating in year-long classes, that this does not go into effect until next school year.
I was referring to not waiving the classes that Mr. Fitzgerald said shouldn't be. Because ultimately, you can't ask for the waiver until you've done the actual class. It's just articulating the class. Like, to me, it was a foolish policy to say that you can take an early childhood class and get phys ed credit, or whatever those other ones were, I read them. So that's the only piece of this I was asking to go into effect. So you don't just keep on doing the same thing that
Yeah, it
makes
was a
no
good
sense.
show tonight.
The whole policy is gonna take over.
But
next
I'm
year,
not gonna
and
take, I'm not
it
gonna play
sounds to me
the
like
school
you're just
committee.
scrambling right
I'm
now
not
to
gonna,
figure
I'm
out
not gonna play
where's
the
all
school
these
committee
waivers.
throughout
And
the
I
whole
just asked
thing,
for the
so.
copies of them. I hope they exist.
Well, I do have a question just on that, though. Mr. Woodward, if someone plays football, doesn't that go on the transcript and count as their PE credit? So there's not, like, if Kevin was playing football, he wouldn't need a physical waiver. He could just say, I'm not taking gym, I'm playing football, and that's on my transcript. Am I wrong there or right?
So I believe the previous PE director had the sports added to the transcript or the academic record in Aspen, which is how folks were keeping track of sports and waivers versus the paper physical from 2020. I think that started during the COVID times, and it just continued on based on the previous director feedback. And in conversations with Mr. Fitzgerald last year, we looked at it and realized we needed to tighten record keeping and paper form up. So we've been consistent with it this year, but it had been inconsistent over the past 3 years due to the sports being,
How many credits do they get for a sport?
They don't earn any credit. It's just listed on their transcript.
So
as
they don't need
participating.
3 PE credits right now if they're playing 4 or 5 sports.
We're operating under the old waiver policy. So this year, any student who wants, in addition to it being on their transcript, they also have to fill out the waiver form.
Okay. But if someone over their 4-year course here plays 2 sports a year, plays 6 or 8 sports, they don't really need PE credit under the current policy, correct?
Under the current graduation policy, they can have all of their PE classes waived or granted alternatively. I think in discussions with Mr. Fitzgerald, it's clear that we need to strike a balance by giving students some flexibility, but also ensuring that, the benefits of physical education, that students receive those by participating in physical education a lot more frequently and more consistently.
Because even when I was here as a vice principal, if a kid wanted to take a second language or an additional science, they would try to get out of phys ed by telling us I'm playing soccer.
Corrupt
I'm
Coogan.
swimming, I'm running cross country, and we would give them, you know, tell the parent, your son's gonna have cross country. Isn't that how we did it even back then? I don't know if you were here then, it was in 15.
Yeah, I can't,
Okay.
I feel like that was practice.
Yeah.
But I can't say for sure.
Yeah, okay, all right. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Aguirre.
The other thing is, I think we get into an equity issue, especially what you just said. So student knows the rules a little bit and they can try to finagle their GPA and whatever else. So I don't take this, but I take a more advanced class, but everybody else is taking it. It blows my mind to think that kids can just not take phys ed because I play sports. We could have a student that is in MMA that works out 5 days a week and is in great shape, and they don't have a right to come in and say, I want to waive it because I go to a certain gym or whatever else. So it's just an equity issue for me that you're supposed to take phys ed. The law half says you're supposed to take phys ed, and we shouldn't be doing waivers, and we shouldn't have not filled this form out. If this is the policy, there's got to be some sort of something, because how the hell does this happen, that people gave waivers without knowing? I just don't understand how we can say, oh, well, it was like, we got to tighten it up. But it shouldn't happen. There's no way it should happen that a student is getting a waiver and without filling out the waiver form. I just don't understand how. So I'm going to look forward to the information that I requested to the superintendent.
Let's vote on this, but you made a motion to put it into effect fourth quarter this year?
Just those two classes that Mr. Fitz said, they shouldn't count. Not the whole program.
Not the whole program?
That's a good question.
Well, let him identify the two classes, then Mr. Dias. What is he talking about, two classes?
The marching band, early ed, early education, dance team, color guard.
So they're getting a waiver presently for marching band, and
Early
if they did marching band from September to January, which is what Jim would count, correct, September to January?
No,
It's a
PE
full year?
would go quarters. So
Quarters.
August till, I think this year.
Oh, great.
So the course of the full season is what it says on the waiver, if that they wanted, that they had to fulfill the entire season.
But is phys ed a half-year course or a full year?
It's a quarter.
It's a quarter, oh, okay.
But I guess, but it just goes back to, it could be that somebody, say, is in marching band and they have an otherwise full schedule. So what happens to that student fourth quarter? If, I'm confused about that. Because you don't just do band for a quarter and that makes you eligible for a waiver. You're in band, marching band over the course of a year, I believe. And that makes
My
you eligible
understanding
for
of
a
it
waiver.
was by the season. So if you
Season,
look at
okay.
like football, they play, the band plays during the football season. They fulfill their obligation to it. After the term, we sign for the band.
Okay.
So I worked with Director Fontina and Julia to verify any students that were in marching band already during the fall season that successfully completed it.
Mr. Dias?
Thank you. And obviously, I'm glad we have the policy that we're about to enact. I guess just following up on like what that record keeping is going to look like going forward. If you just want to speak to that again.
Sure. So the student should meet with the guidance counselor to identify the year after freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior year where that 1 year they may need a waiver. Say, hey, my junior year, my schedule's tight. I really can't fit it in. And in the new waiver, we put in an area, please explain why you're requesting the waiver, not just, I don't want to take PE or I have this opportunity to waive PE, whatever it may be. It would have to be under the new proposed one that they would explain as to why. I would get it, meet with the guidance counselor, meet with the guidance department head and say, all right, we grant so-and-so a waiver for girls volleyball. We grant Kelly Boulia, our volleyball coach, girls volleyball credit.
Who would keep the waivers? Would that go
I
under
would.
guidance, or you would?
That would be me, yep. The guidance would generate them before the start of the season. Student signs it, parent signs it, counselor signs it.
Have it up, yeah.
They give it to me. What I do is I upload them into a Google Sheet that's shared with all members of the guidance team. At the end of the season, I'd go to Mr. Buston or a secretary. She would verify that the students played. Mr. Buston would sign. She would also, or he, would get the coach to sign that they were a bona fide team member, that they met all the expectations, and then I would be the final signature. I keep it uploaded in a Google Sheet. Again, everybody has access to, and then I would email the counselor saying, Kelly Boulia, girls volleyball, earned a PE credit junior year.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so Kevin's got a motion that he wants to put this into effect the last quarter, fourth quarter of this year. I have a motion second on that. Deb, call the roll.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Before I answer, can I get clarification from Mr. Fitzgerald? Is that doable if we approve this going to the fourth quarter only?
You'd have to ask Mr. Woodward. I'm not the schedule.
Mr. Woodward, is it feasible?
It seems feasible, but there may be unique situations where we would have to look into an alternative solution.
As opposed to its implementation for next year, would that be better?
I think that would be the way to do it. The cleanest would be to start it next year. In my personal opinion, yes.
I vote no.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
No.
Just one more question on that.
Mr. Agia?
Is there currently, or has there been over the last 4 or 5 years, any students that just don't take phys ed? They just don't schedule it and then they just call it a day?
In my 3 years coming up from the middle school, I've seen students that we've never seen in the field house. I have some of my PE staff at the high school that are also varsity, sub-varsity coaches that would say such and such student has never taken a phys ed class, like physically within this building, because they've always gotten a waiver every year. The exact number of that, I don't know.
I guess the heartache that I'm having with it is I feel like they just didn't do any paperwork over the last 3 or 4 years and just willy-nilly. So that's my concern, is how do we do an audit of that and track that? So I asked for the information from the superintendent.
Well, you do need an audit for everything.
Hasn't been done right. I yield.
You do need an audit for everything.
Okay, so now we still have to vote on the.
Motion approved?
Yeah.
There was a motion and
There's a motion second. Deb, call the roll on 11 for the discussion and vote the updated phys ed waiver.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes. 11.5, discussion and vote to approve the organization of committee meeting dates as presented by Kevin Agia. Mr. Agia.
I think that we need to consider looking at it as a fresh start for the 2-year term. We've always traditionally met on Mondays. I think it makes sense to change that date to a Wednesday. At that point, we would have, being in the middle of the week, it would allow us to continue to get the agendas on a Friday. And we would have more time to try to drill down any questions and any backup information. It would also, I think, help when the meeting, if it did happen on a Wednesday, excuse me, that we would be much more efficient in our meetings. So I'd like to make a motion that we move our meetings from Mondays to Wednesdays.
Second.
Motion second. The only person I'm concerned about at this time is Ms. Riley. What time could you get here on Wednesday?
I can be here for 5. I
For
just
5?
Yeah.
So if we move them to 5 too?
You mean the time?
The time, go Wednesday at 5, give us an extra half hour.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay. Wednesday at 5 is Mr. Aguilar's motion. I have a second. Deb, call the roll.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yep.
Mr. Mona?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes, same weekly schedule, second Wednesday of the month, 5 o'clock. 11/6, huh?
When is this taking?
Next meeting?
Okay.
Yeah. We'll just get a new updated schedule to the
Correct.
committee.
I'll just send it out.
Okay, thanks, Deb. 11/6 is a second read and a vote to approve the superintendent's recommended budget priorities presented by Dr. Curley.
So at a previous meeting in the fall, I presented the draft budget priorities for school year 27. I did not receive feedback at that time or any subsequent communication. So I don't know if anybody has any feedback or questions about what was presented.
Anybody, Mr. Dias?
I have questions on the backup. If I know you're looking for you're looking for feedback on the survey.
I mean, I can take questions. It's on the priorities. That's what I was at.
Right. Can I ask the CFO to come up? So on second page, it speaks about multilingual learners. We're looking to strengthen multilingual education by improving how programs are designed and developed, etc., and helping current staff learn new skills. What does, and I know the MLO director's not here today, are we still partnering with, what's the contracts look like right now with Equity?
I did already have a conversation with you, Mr. Dias, about the fact that, and I'll explain why you're asking. We hired a new MLL director.
Oh.
It is a person with whom we've previously contracted for consulting services and professional development for our ESL teachers. And there was a question raised by you, Mr. Dias. You asked me if we would continue our contract with that individual. I said no, that she was starting with us full-time today, and the contracts would be terminated.
Correct. I'm following up on, so these are 3 contracts that were approved by the school committee.
Yes.
And if a more veteran member of this committee can answer, if we are to amend a contract to either lesser money, would that usually have to be a vote of the school committee?
Not typically, because there's been situations in the past where we haven't fully spent a contract, or the contract has been less than what was initially anticipated. So in situations like that, when that happens, the purchase order, when the time comes, when the work has been completed, would get liquidated.
The 3 contracts that the school committee approved, did we already send out the funds?
Not all of them, no.
Not all of them,
No.
any of them?
As I believe, and I believe this is I can answer, but I believe that there is, bills still outstanding that we haven't received for work prior to her hire.
There's bills outstanding prior.
As part of the contracts.
How are we gonna work that out? I guess you understand my concern. Are we going to be paying for?
No, I am just going to ask that we close out any work prior to the date of hire, so before today, and that we just finally get billed out and settle those contracts up until basically the end of last week. And then, as the superintendent stated, close those contracts out completely for the remainder of the year.
Okay, so just so I confirm it on the record, we did not send out the full lump sum beforehand?
No, we did not. No, the work we've been billed by that organization.
Oh, great.
And so we have not sent out a full lump sum at all. Typically what happens is we encumber, the amount, and then maybe a month of work, I don't know the exact time, but maybe a month of work is done, we get an invoice. So what I'd like to do is just make sure we close out all those invoices effective January 9th would have been Friday. And then moving forward, we just wouldn't have any other contract at all.
And those will come before the committee through the bill schedule?
in whatever process they
look at it,
currently
okay.
come before you all now.
That's what I was looking for clarification on.
Yep.
That I didn't receive at first, so I appreciate that. Thank you. I yield.
Sure.
Anything for Mr. Aguirre?
So on that same issue, just, the contract reads from September to June, so theoretically, you would say that's a 10-month or whatever it is. I would hope that we're not gonna spend $38,000 in 6 months just, and then all of a sudden higher.
No.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
should
no.
kind of fall in line with.
No, it's been chunked out in smaller amounts
Exactly.
as it's come across.
We're not, I'm hoping that we're not gonna get something to say, oh, I loaded up all my bills and then now I'm gonna get the job. I
No.
don't think that's the case, but
No.
it would certainly look bad if it did. I yield. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah, I understand.
I got a second. I have a motion and a second on this, Deb.
No, I don't think we have
Motion,
anything.
motion to approve.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Deb, call the roll on the budget priorities.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes. 11.7 is a discussion and vote to approve the appointment of school committee member to SMEC.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Chanel Stewart.
Second.
I agree 100%. Deb, call the roll on Chanel Stewart to SMEC.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Whoopee. Yeah.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yep. 11.8, the second read and vote to approve the proposed 2027 budget calendar as presented by Kevin Almeida, Chief Financial Officer.
So this is the second read. We brought this forward last month. And what we've done is provide you with kind of like just a roadmap of what the process was last year and what we are proposing for the process to be this year. The process falls in line with what's said in the charter.
Yeah.
And when we have to have the budget submitted to the mayor and the city council. So with that, I'm requesting your approval.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Dias.
whoever has the answer to this question, who is in charge of sending the advertisement out for the public hearing?
I am.
Okay. And I brought this up at the last meeting. What's the plan right now to advertise? Are we just doing the Herald News?
That's typically what we do, yes.
I would like to make a motion that we send out the advertisement to all local media across the district.
What's that going to cost, Mr. Dias, you know?
It does cost money. It costs money to advertise. So the actual dollar amount, I can get it to you for this week. It's probably like.
I second it with a question.
Yeah, I just don't know,
I
what is that going to
Second
cost?
with a question.
I want to say it's probably about $700 roughly to
Mr.
advertise.
Aguirre, Mr. Aguirre.
My question is just that, I think he raises a valid point. We want to try to get it out there, but we also don't want to waste money in this day and age of the internet, people, it's going to be posted. It's have to post the library and all that stuff. But what I would recommend is that between now and the next meeting, you come back to us with some prices, because why we're going to give $750 to the Herald News when nobody's going to read it?
Mhm.
And maybe we just can, whatever.
Oh, Kevin,
Whatever
that's
satisfies
the
the
point.
world for the least amount of money, as far as I'm concerned, because we could publish it in 6 different places and waste $3 grand. And I don't think we should be wasting that.
I would draw my motion, but I still have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Dias.
I don't know if that has to be in the form of a motion. I don't know if it doesn't really have much to do with the schedule. That's something that can be brought forward at the next meeting.
We trust the
What's
people.
that?
We have time. We're not advertising for months, right?
No.
So you
no.
can bring it back
Okay.
next month?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the schedule then.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
I have a second, Mr. Aguirre.
So on December 2025, it reads, administer principal department budget survey to develop priorities, goals for the budget. Can we please get copies of those? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Deb, can you call the roll on 11.8?
Yep, they need copies of those.
We'll make sure these are on Wednesdays, not on whatever dates.
Yeah, no, so what I typically do is I just put like week of
Gotcha.
for that, so whatever the day is, the day is.
Perfect. Thank you.
The school committee, what a mess.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Dias?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Monas?
Yes.
Ms. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Mayor Coogan?
Yes. 11.9 is a discussion and vote to approve the second quarter transfers by Kevin Almeida, Chief Financial Officer.
So this is the second quarter transfer, and what we are with this transfer, we're requesting the transfer of $521,000 to essentially go to 4 different cost centers, to Durfee for $190,000, for insurance for $200,000, for nursing for $100,000, and for Westall for $31,000. The funds are coming from Doran, RPA, Cuss, and Talbot. And so just because we have 3 new members, the format typically is I'll provide the document, which is the front page that provides the explanation of anything over $50,000 and why there was a savings or why a transfer is required. Behind that, I provide the details as to the accounts where the money is going to suffice to cover the transfer that is required. And the last section of the document is the year-to-date budget report, just so you can get a picture of what it was prior to the transfer happening. So this is the document in front of you. And with that, I'm asking for your approval tonight on the second quarter transfer.
Any questions? Mr. Dias?
I'm actually going to yield for my colleague.
Thank you. I said, you don't look this way, Mr. Mayor.
I know, I'm so, you know, we used to have a curve to the table, but now it's straight. I apologize. Ms. Riley?
Mr. Almeida, when you do your memo, could you just add the reasoning behind having, so I'm just looking, the money is coming from Doran, RPA, Cuss, Talbot looks pretty self-explanatory. But why is there so much money available in salaries? Is it because positions weren't filled or positions were
Correct.
cut? If you could just add that to your memo so we know
Sure.
how you were able to come up with those funds
Sure.
from those. Thank you.
Anything else?
Chair.
Mr. Dias, how did I forget?
Thank you. I just wanted to let some of my colleagues go first.
Mr. Dias.
So I think we do approve these and just speaking either with some colleagues and just has always been my philosophy. Of course, the school committee, one of our most important roles is the budget and controlling the budget and where the money goes. And I think, and I'm going to be, as one member, introducing, again, as the new policy chair as well, some fiscal controls that I believe will help with accountability and transparency. So I'd like to make a motion. One second. I'd like to make a motion that the school committee have monthly transfers and explanations be given on all accounts where a transfer is required over under 25,000.
Second.
Why are we doing that, Mr. Dias?
We have more authority over the budget. That's a philosophical, my position.
How bad is that, Mr. Almeida?
It's the will of the committee.
Mr. Dias's motion wants to go to monthly transfers. Like instead of by quarters, you want it by months, is what we're talking about, over 25,000. That's the motion second. Any further discussion? Ms. Riley?
This is a small number of transfers, but since this is the first one I've seen, is this typical that you just have so few quarterly?
I'm sorry?
Is this a typical amount of transfers quarterly?
It depends. It depends on it. It depends on the year. So what we've seen the last several years, and I'm sure you've seen in your district, we've had an exorbitant amount of positions that are vacant. And what's happened is we've hired a lot of positions through staffing agencies. And so we typically will cover the staffing agency from another cost center. And so typically those transfers end up happening because of that. So that's a big reason why. And then in other cases, it's just stuff that's unforeseen that happens, on a yearly basis. When you look at, $500,000 in transfers, while yes, it seems like a lot, it's in essence, it's 5 positions when you look at it in total.
Right.
Because positions are roughly, standard $80,000 to $90,000, so maybe 6 positions. So it's not a big transfer with a budget this size. So, but we've tried to stay to, in the time that I've been here a while. We've done quarterly transfers. At one time I was doing monthly transfers. It's a lot of work. To do it monthly, it's a lot of work, but I'll do whatever the committee wants. It's fine.
So I'll just say, so I do monthly transfers, but there's only like 2 or 3 every month. So I'm just thinking, is it more work or less work, you just have fewer
It's-
transfers if you
yeah,
do it
no,
monthly.
it would be, no, it would be in that sense, but it's just, it's preparing the documents
Yeah.
every month. It's just, sometimes it's a little something, that's all.
Gotcha.
You all set? Ms. Riley? You all set? Anything further, Mr. Aguirre?
Yeah, so I've been here when we've done both ways, like you, Mr. Almeida. So one of the concerns that I have and why I seconded this is the last quarter is what really gets me, is that we don't necessarily on a monthly basis know where there's available funds and the like. So if you asked me, and I think I do a pretty good job of paying attention to the budget. If you asked me last month, which schools had this type of savings, I couldn't tell you because we don't get that report. And if I was to say right now, these are the only schools that have that savings, I know that that's not the case. So if we
So that was the actual school committee. The school committee was live with the Bobby Kudo show. So I decided to actually put it live, but I didn't want to waste all that time on what was what's going on in the school committee. But I really want to focus on some attention on Madani. The newly elected mayor of Fall River. Now they actually want to recall him from office. Over 7,000 New Yorkers want to recall him from office, but but more on that story from New York City. 7,000. I mean, that's basically a lot. So, but I also want to focus my attention, on the what's going on, and let's see. I want to get to YouTube and look for some interesting things. When I get to YouTube, and I want to getting to some interesting things that are really happening here. So I don't know what's going on, but let's see here. Well, let me see. Brutal regime. Fairy House of Horror. Let me see here what's going on here. But I also do know that for what was told to me earlier, that Venezuela, the Trump administration is taking over, is taking over the oil, and where that Russia was giving $30 a barrel. Now that the Trump administration, the United States now has the oil, so now Venezuela is going to get 68 $68 a barrel instead of $30 a barrel, which is, I mean, I think that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So we'll basically have some actually talks on that too as well. You know, about the oil situation. But I just want to try to come up with some stuff here for tonight's show. So I didn't want to waste all my time on that. But all I know is that right now China's mad. You know what I'm saying? Right now, so China's very upset. Very upset at the U.S. Right now, and I know that for what I've been told today too, as well, that there was basically a Russian. There was an oil rig headed to Russia, and it was intercepted. And it was intercepted by a submarine, and to escort it back. Vladimir Putin said, that he told Trump, he says, please don't touch my boat, my oil boat. You know what I'm saying, please. And so actually Trump took it anyway. You know what I'm saying. So I mean, so now that's gone. So now you got Russia. And then you got China mad at the U.S. So I just wanted to actually let you guys know about that. Let me see. I'm trying to find something here. Now what's going on here? But I can't find anything on YouTube. So, but I just also want to let you know. I mean, why is Sheriff Haro at a No King protest? You know what I'm saying? Why? You know what I'm saying? I mean, at a No King protest. And plus, I think there was also an update on that too. So I don't even know. I'm going to say, wait a second here. I'm going to go and actually take a look at what's going on here. So I'm going to actually take a look at that. I'm going to try to find it because I know it's here somewhere. Let me see here. Oh yeah, yep. So there was an update. Let's see here. All right. So yes. So there was an update on the rally. Would any anti-law enforcement protests be with Bristol County, his very own cosplay revelatory Sheriff Paul Walnut Haro. The right scheduled Sheriff Walnut was up early this morning and enduring his favorite positions, and he was elected to lead supporting officers. Now much easier to grab a sign and strike a pose and remain everywhere. He is available wherever it follows the left need of law enforcement officials. I mean, where is it? Well, I mean, why is he? Why is he at this No King protest? You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. I don't get why is this guy at this No King protest? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this guy, I don't know. I mean, this guy is something else. Okay. I mean, he says, oh, all these, I mean, this guy's not really doing his job the way he's supposed to be doing it. know what I'm saying? He's not. So I mean, it's like so ridiculous already, you know? I mean, you know, for all the stuff that's going on. I mean, you know, people got rid of Sheriff Hodson and got this guy in here. You know what I'm saying? So why is Sheriff I mean, you guys got rid of Sheriff Hodson, but this guy here is at a No King protest. Okay, what for? What's the purpose? Okay, he is supposed to. Okay, he is supposed to run the sheriff's department. Okay, he is a sheriff. Run the sheriff department. Why is he at No King protest? I don't get it. But you know what? What they're doing is they're calling him. I mean, come on, man. You know, you got to do your job for the people, and this is why the taxpayers pay you to do. Okay, all right. This is why Sheriff Perot was elected, so that way he can do his job. Okay, there might be at some No King protest. Okay, I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? Are you serious being at a No King protest? So I mean, this is like so ridiculous already, you know. With some of these, you know, I mean, we got people. The people of the city of Bristol County got so upset at Sheriff Hodgson, okay? But now look what this guy is doing. You know what I'm saying? Look what he's doing. Ain't that sad though? Look what he's doing. I mean, this is like total ridiculous already, you know? Kind of No King protest. Come on, give yourself a break there, man. I mean, yeah, wait. What's he trying to do? Trying to score some points with the No King protest? I mean, no wonder they call him Sheriff Walnuts. Oh my God! I mean, it's something else, man. I'm gonna try to actually find something else over here that's going on here. You know, I don't know what else is going on, but I'm gonna try to find something here that will catch somebody's eye. Yeah, I mean, it's total ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It is. Why would he be at that? You know, No King protest. I want to talk about the strike in Syria too. Yeah. So the let's see.
Well as Army Apache helicopter gunships. We await confirmation on what was used this time, but it's safe to say, John, those assets remain in the region. There's always a squadron of F-15 Strike Eagles. The last time the strikes were launched from Jordan, remains to be seen if the Jordanians assisted this time. But it all comes as the United States is working closer with Syria's government to root out and destroy the remnants of ISIS. And that December 19th strike, there were 70 targets. We'll have to see the readout of the strikes that are taking place right now. We're told those bombs have been dropped and some of those aircraft are returning to base, John. We have not heard from President Trump today. It's notable, though, John, the schedule for President Trump is pretty light. He had a dentist appointment this morning. He did not go to his golf club to stick a tee in the ground. So perhaps he is monitoring the situation as we speak in Syria, John.
What about those December 19th strikes? Do we know the assessment, the after battle assessment of what happened there?
Nothing was published, John, but the U.S. Central Command responsible for all American forces in the Middle East said 70 targets were struck throughout central Syria. If you recall, after the killing of the 2 Iowa National Guard soldiers, that was during a key leader engagement in Palmyra in central Syria by what CENTCOM called a lone ISIS gunman was responsible. He had been serving in the Syrian security forces. He was delinquent, we were told. He was suspected of having ties for ISIS and was in the process of getting kicked out of the Syrian military. And President Trump has been working with Syria's new president, trying to strengthen ties in the region to kick ISIS out, also to bring Syrian Kurdish forces together with the Syrian forces in Syria. But this strike today, I'm told, is a continuation, the payback, the vengeance, if you will, John, after the killing of those 2 Iowa National Guard soldiers and their American interpreter.
And when Hafez al-Assad was still running Syria, the Russians had a significant presence there. And I know U.S. airstrikes had to be somewhat wary of not getting too close to the Russian zone of influence, but the Russians are gone now, right?
Not completely, John. They still operate a base in Syria. There are still some remnants of the Russians, but nothing like what they had before. And you're right. There was a time when the U.S. military launched strikes in Syria. There was a deconfliction mechanism. Sometimes it was just an unclassified mobile phone and a Gmail account, I was told at the time. But if you recall, when the Delta Force launched one of its last major operations to kill the ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in northwest Syria, they had to fly near some Russian forces, and there was some deconfliction on that operation, telling the Russians this fight is not against you, it is against the leader of ISIS.
Yeah, an iPhone and a Gmail account. So when do we expect to hear the results of what happened today? Has the Pentagon said anything, Lucas?
Not officially, John. Of course, we're standing by. If past this prologue, we're expecting some kind of post from President Trump announcing the strike that has taken place. And most of our viewers are hoping a very successful one in Syria. I have to wait until all the aircraft are safely returned and accounted for, of course, John.
We will be watching Truth Social for the president's post, that's for sure. Lucas Tomlinson, traveling with the president from West Palm Beach. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Well, yeah, that was a, let me see. All right. All right, so that's basically done. Trying to let's see here. Trying to get something else going here. Process turn by.
Has gone too far. Trump's approval on handling immigration is down to 35%. In Gallup polling, it isn't quite that low in some others, but it is at majority disapproval. So I suspect that whatever level of people we see in the street, the direction they are heading on the way they are trying to deal with this problem in the interior of the country, this kind of mass militarized presence in big cities, is on a trajectory to have declining public support.
I just want to dig into that a bit more because, as you say, even before the shooting, polls were already showing a split on immigration enforcement. While Trump still does get strong support on border security, more voters say he's gone too far on deportations. How significant do you think this split is for the White House, though?
Well, I mean, that really is the question. I mean, we are, you know, the amazing thing and the kind of the ominous thing to think about is if you kind of look at how much strain and tension, economic, social, political, 16 shootings, I believe, by ICE in enforcement operations.
No,
in this
it
first
ain't. That's
year.
all false
And we are
propaganda
only
stuff,
at the
man.
very beginning of what they have in mind. I mean, they're, you know,
God, these people, man, they throw. I'll tell you though, CNN throws so much bull out there, man. It's not funny. God. Oh my God, CNN again, starting their nonsense and throwing all kinds of propaganda out there. Like always. I mean, come on, man. Jeez. You know, that is total nonsense already. You know what I'm saying? You know, with all that propaganda stuff going on, you know, with CNN. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, let's see what else is going on here. What's this here? Yeah, well, I know that Madani was. I mean, why? I mean, you know, so you got some of these protesters out here. I mean, hands off Venezuela. Why hands off Venezuela? You know what I'm saying? Venezuela's been on a dictatorship for very. Why hands off of Venezuela? Venezuela's been on a dictatorship for almost 27 years. Okay, and you know, and I think it's about time that Venezuela become free. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we confiscated the oil. Okay, we confiscated the oil, right? So we did that, and now look at instead of Venezuela getting $30 a barrel, right? They're getting at least $68 a barrel. So Venezuela's getting a little bit more than Russia was actually giving, Venezuela. Come on. So now the new president of Venezuela, okay, so is cooperating with the United States. So that way it's a win-win situation. It's win-win. All right. So the United States, we take our cut, okay, and we give the 68 to Venezuela. So actually, let me tell you something. Venezuela right now and Cuba, they are making out really good with the oil right now. Okay, we're making out with it. They're making out good, and Cuba's also making out. Okay, why should other state? Why should Venezuela get $30? Why should Venezuela get $30 a barrel when they can get $68 a barrel? Okay, it makes sense, right? So, I mean, and hey, and yeah, and again, and we confiscated. We confiscated. Russia, the oil boat that was going into Russia. So, and Putin said, "Well, don't touch my boat, please don't." You know what I'm saying? But hey, President Trump confiscated we confiscated it anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so why should all our oil, okay, go over to Russia? Okay, right? Why should our oil go over there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying? And Venezuela's getting $30 a barrel instead of $68 a barrel. Come on, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Look what the president of Venezuela was doing. You know what I'm saying? He was actually robbing the people. He was actually robbing the people of Venezuela. Don't get me started with that one. Live coverage on Mob Storm. And look at the now look at the other one, okay? With Madani, okay? Like I spoke to you about Madani. Madani, the 70,000 people of New York wants to recall. He wants to recall Madani from mayor. So I mean, because look at actually what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous already, you know. But like I said, I apologize. Eric did not come on. The other guy had to work. He didn't know that he had to work, and I should have put Annalisa back on. But let's see what else is going on here. Latest news. I'll play some videos. Latest news on videos, stuff.
Exploration. Everybody has that in their blood, and it is a very exciting country and a lot of reserves, and so it's got its challenges, and the industry knows how to handle that, and like Darren said, you go in with your eyes open and do the best you can with the team you got. So
Well, you're going to have
you.
something that they never had really here is tremendous security. You're going to be very secure, very safe, physically safe, in addition to financially safe. So it's good to see you, Harold. Thank you very much. Does anybody have anything to say before we get to the press?
What does Cuba have to do to avoid the same fate as Venezuela? What does Cuba have to do?
Well, Cuba's in bad shape. Cuba relied on Venezuela for oil and for money. And nobody really knows what's going to happen with Cuba. They're doing very poorly. They're really third world all the way. And we have a lot of great Cuban Americans. And I would say Marco fits very solidly into that category. And I might ask you to say a few words about, we were discussing it before, Cuba is a very different, they don't have energy, they don't have oil, but they would live off of the oil from Venezuela. And what they do have is very strong people. And very powerful people militarily, and they would protect the people running Venezuela, and they would take in a lot of money from Venezuela. Now they don't have that. They won't be taking in any money. So, Marco, what do you think?
Well, I mean, the fundamental problem in Cuba is that it's run by incompetent people that don't know what an economy looks like, much less a functioning one. They've made a choice, and that is they would rather have political control over the people than they would have an economy that functions. And they've gotten away with it for 60-something years because they've had donors, the Soviet Union, and now most recently Venezuela. But that's now gone. So the people in control in Cuba have a choice to make. They can either have a real country with a real economy where their people can prosper, or they can continue with their failing dictatorship that's going to lead to systemic and societal collapse. That's a very stark and dramatic choice, and it's one we hope to make the right one. We don't have an interest in a destabilized Cuba, but that would be their fault because they refuse to allow the people of Cuba to have either economic or political freedom for that matter.
And you have a lot of people in this country that want to go back to Cuba and help Cuba. A lot of people have left, they came in penniless, they didn't have anything, and they've become very rich people in our country, and they want to very much go back and help Cuba. So that's something that Cuba has that a lot of other places don't have. Peter?
President Trump, thank you. I do want to ask you about Minnesota, but first, just more on topic. President Zelensky said that he was watching with the rest of the world as you made this order to go and capture Nicolas Maduro. And he said, if that's how it works with dictators, then the United States knows what to do next. Sounds like he wants you to go and capture Vladimir Putin. Would you ever order a mission to go and capture Vladimir Putin?
Well, I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think we're going to have I've always had a great relationship with him. I'm very disappointed. I settled 8 wars. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack or maybe one of the easier ones. And I don't know if you know, Peter, the last month, they lost 31,000 people, many of them Russian soldiers, and the Russian economy is doing poorly. I think we're going to end up getting it settled. I wish we could have done it quicker because a lot of people are dying, and mostly soldiers. You know, they get hit in Kiev and they get hit a little bit here and there, and people are dying there too. But largely, it's the soldier population. When you have 30,000, 31,000 soldiers dying in a period of a month, 27,000 the month before, 26,000 the month before that, that's bad stuff. So, as you know, President Biden gave $350 billion to Ukraine to fight. And we would never get that back, although I did make a rare earth deal to get it back. So we will be getting it back, but shouldn't have done that. It was a bad thing to do. I will say that right now, because I was able to get NATO to up GDP from 2% to 5%, NATO's got a lot of money and they're paying for everything. We're not losing any money. We're making a lot of money, I guess, if you think of it, because we're selling them military equipment. They're probably giving it to Ukraine, but we're selling them to NATO military equipment. We're getting full price and all of that, but that's not a big deal to me. What is a big deal is stopping a war where 30,000 people are being killed every single month.
On Minnesota, the vice president yesterday suggested that Renee Good, who was killed by this ICE officer, was part of a broad left-wing network. What has your team told you about this broad left-wing network? Who is in charge of it? Who's part of it? What's it called?
Well, I haven't seen the vice president's statement, but he's generally very accurate. I hate to say it. Look, I watched that yesterday, and there are a lot of different forms to it. But there was a woman screaming, shame, 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 shame. She was a agitator, probably a paid agitator, but in my opinion, she was an agitator, a very high-level agitator, so professional. She wouldn't stop screaming. I said, this isn't a normal situation. This is a professional troublemaker, because you heard it and I had it. Now, I will say this. The news sort of turned her down, turned her off, because you're trying to watch. She was so loud and so crazy and just not normal. When somebody sees something like that, they don't go screaming and the same words. So I guess you could say professional, but I didn't think she did a very good job. You have agitators, and we will always be protecting ICE, and we're always going to be protecting our Border Patrol and our law enforcement. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in your conversations with these oil executives today, did you provide any security guarantees so that they can do their work safely in Venezuela? Yeah. And separately, Mr. President,
they will have those guarantees, yes.
And separately, Mr. President, I'm curious in terms of the future of Venezuela. Do you see Venezuela, now led by Delcy Rodriguez, as an ally of the U.S.? Is that the way that you view that country
right now? They seem to be an ally, and I think it'll continue to be an ally. And we don't want to have Russia there. We don't want to have China there. And by the way, we don't want Russia or China going to Greenland, which if we don't take Greenland, you're going to have Russia or China as your next door neighbor. That's not going to happen. The white.
Mr. President, thank you. You just said that these companies would have security guarantees if they go in on the ground in Venezuela.
They will have.
And what is your plan there actually for these companies and those Americans who are going to be on the ground working for these companies?
Well, there are going to be Americans. I assume they're going to be using a lot of Americans, but they're going to be using a lot of people from Venezuela and other places, I would imagine. But I would think that mostly they'll be using Venezuelan workers. They have a lot of great workers. They have a very high unemployment rate, and they have workers that are very familiar with taking oil out of the ground. Yeah.
How long do you think the Ayatollah will be in power after what we've seen play out on the ground there? When is the U.S. going to get involved now that reports of protesters being killed on the ground?
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it. We're watching it very closely. Go ahead, please. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Do you have any comments in reaction to the recent attacks by the Syrian government alignment groups against US-backed Kurdish forces in Aleppo, Syria, which killed dozens of civilians and displacing many families? Does your administration bring peace between the Kurds and the Syrian government?
I want to see peace. Yes, I do. The Kurds and the Syrian government, we get along with both, as you know, very well. They have been natural enemies over the years, but we get along both. And we want to see Syria succeed. And so far, I think they are succeeding, but this is just breaking out, and we want to see that stopped. Go ahead, please.
You're meeting with the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, in a few weeks. Do you hope this meeting with Gustavo Petro marks a new chapter, a new beginning in the benefit of the U.S. and Colombia relations?
What country?
Colombia, with the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro.
I had a very good talk with him yesterday, and he's been very hostile to us and to the nation and to me, called me a dictator and lots of other things. Called Biden some terrible names, far worse than he called me. But he called yesterday through people, and he wants to meet, and that's fine with me. I've made up with people also, so we're going to have a meeting with him. We had a very good conversation. The people of Colombia are incredible people. Marco would know that better than anybody because he's married to a woman from Colombia. And I don't mean Columbia University. That would be, I'm not sure. I think I like Colombia, the country, better, if you want to know the truth. The people, hold it. The people are great people. I look forward to meeting with them. We're going to meet in the very near future.
Would you meet the interim president of Venezuela here in the White House? Would you greet her to discuss the fate of the oil?
Yeah, well, I'm going to meet a lot of people, and we're going to meet, we meet a lot of people. When you end 8 wars, you get to know a lot of people, and I think it's very important. As an example, we have over $18 trillion. Think of it, $18 trillion coming into our country. A lot of that's coming in from foreign countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE and others. And I get to meet a lot of people, but I will be meeting with various representatives of Venezuela probably pretty soon. We haven't set that up. But the relationship that we have with the people that are currently running Venezuela is very good. We also have a young lady that received the Nobel Peace Prize. She's going to come in and pay her regards to our country, really, to me. But, I'm a representative of the country, nothing else. And she's coming in sometime next week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. And we'll see how that is. But no, we're dealing with the people from Venezuela. We're dealing with them very well. I think they've been very smart in the way they've dealt with us, frankly, because that whole place could have been obliterated with one more strike, and we didn't want to do that.
Thank you so much. I have a question for you on Minneapolis, but on Venezuela and your meeting with Machado next week. If she gives you her Nobel Peace Prize, will that change your view about her running that country?
Well, I have to speak to her. I'm going to have to speak to her. She might be involved in some aspect of it. I will have to speak to her. I think it's very nice that she wants to come in, and that's what I understand the reason is, because Norway is very embarrassed by what took place. They're getting decimated. Look, whether people like Trump or don't like Trump, I settled 8 wars, big ones, some going on for 36 years, 32 years, 31 years, 28 years, 25 years, some just getting ready to start, like India and Pakistan, where already 8 jets were shot out of the air. And I got it done in rapid order without nuclear weapons. I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more than me. And I don't want to be bragging, but nobody else settled wars. Obama got the Nobel Prize. He had no idea why. He still has no idea. He walks around, he says, I got the Nobel Prize. Why did he get a Nobel Prize? He got it almost immediately upon attaining office, and he didn't do anything, and he was a bad president. So, I mean, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped. These were major wars. These were wars that nobody thought could be stopped. President Putin called me and he said about 2 of the wars that he's been trying to stop them for 10 years. He wasn't able to do it. He couldn't believe it. So in theory, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped. Every one of them was major. But I don't care about that. What I care about is saving lives. I've saved tens of millions of lives. You know, the Prime Minister of Pakistan came here and he made a very public statement. He said that President Trump saved minimum 10 million lives having to do with Pakistan and India, and that was going to be raging. So, you know, but I'm honored that she's coming here. I look forward to meeting her, yes.
And on Minneapolis,
Go ahead.
On Minneapolis, Mr. President, I have a follow-up for you. The state officials there have said that the FBI is not sharing evidence with them. Typically, they would conduct a joint investigation, as you know. Do you believe that the FBI should be sharing evidence with state officials in Minnesota?
Well, normally I would, but they're crooked officials. I mean, Minneapolis and Minnesota, what a beautiful place, but it's being destroyed. It's got an incompetent governor, fool. I mean, he's a stupid person. And it looks like the number could be $19 billion stolen from a lot of people, but largely people from Somalia. They buy their vote. They vote in a group. They buy their vote. They sell more Mercedes-Benzes in that area than almost. Can you imagine? You come over with no money, and then shortly thereafter, you're driving a Mercedes-Benz. The whole thing is ridiculous. So they're very corrupt people. It's a very corrupt state. I feel that I won Minnesota. I think I won it all 3 times. Nobody's won it since Richard Nixon won it many, many years ago. I won it all 3 times, in my opinion. And it's a corrupt state, a corrupt voting state. And the Republicans ought to get smart and demand on voter ID. They ought to demand maybe same-day voting and all of the other things that you have to have a safe election. But I won Minnesota 3 times, and I didn't get credit for it. I did so well in that state every time. The people were crying.
Well, let me tell you something. Minnesota, yeah. I mean, Minnesota, that is a crooked state. Okay, so I mean, look who ran that state. Look who was governor over there before he resigned. But I didn't want to get too far into that because my show's about to end, and well, I guess I will have Saturday, Saturday of next week, and Monday too of next week. We can have these people to come on. Eric and James Kilgus to come back on the show again. But hey, I want to thank whoever was watching my show, and and I played some some school committee. I'm saying I played a couple of videos on the federal and stuff. So, but I just want to let everybody know, have a great night. And I'll see you on Saturday and Monday again. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. Bye now. This is Dave B. for Media News.